Can you see? It's a robin. A robin right there. Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Ha ha! Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Top of the morning. All right. So, today, it is Winter Edition 2025. Oh, did I say good morning? This is Mona, and this is my morning view? I don't think I did. So there you go. And it's Winter Edition 2025. Feels like spring. It was rainy last night. Deck is really wet, slippery. Everything is wet. There's no ice left. All the ice is gone. So, we've got that. And the birds are singing. The birds are singing, and the robin was out. Yes, that really makes it officially spring. But I'm kind of waiting until like the 21st-ish to say that it's spring. So I believe this is the last week of the Winter Edition 2025. You have part A, December, and then you have January, February, March for Winter Edition. December is 24, Winter Edition. So that's actually part B. Part B. All right. So today is Memory Monday. And those of you who have followed me know that Memory Monday is the day that I remember stuff. I go back into the archives and into the files and go, oh, what is this that I am linking up to right now that can be used for today? And those of you who follow me know that I do this impromptu. So I rarely ever have a topic prior to hitting the go button, go live. However, this is crooked. However, there are occasions when I might have a word, a phrase, a thought, but nothing really formulated yet until I hit that go button. And sometimes I get on here and it's like, oh, I have no idea what I'm going to say, and I've already hit go. Well, that's kind of like one of those moments right now. So, with this time that I'm thinking about something else, but can't really think and talk at the same time, and that is, I'm doing YouTube as well. So, here we are on Facebook live, doing it live, and then I go over for 3 minutes over to YouTube and do a 3-minute, I'm starting to do a 3-minute, like, maybe synopsis of this, only because I need 50 subscribers. I need 50 subscribers, and then I can go live for longer. I'm trying for that 15-minute mark, so that with God having me do 3 minutes at a time, YouTube is not God. With YouTube having me do 3 minutes at a time, it's really putting the pressure on get to saying what I'm saying. And I don't have that here. I also don't have a clock here to say, there's a clock there, but it's not the right time. Right? Somewhere in their woods. Right around there. No, that's the thermometer. Okay. It's underneath the pine tree. It's more decorative than it works. It does work if the batteries are good, but yeah. The batteries don't remain good because they get wet. All right. So, yeah. And you know that I don't multitask well, real well. And the dog wants to play the moment I say, good morning, this is Mona, and this is my morning view. And all of a sudden she goes, oh yeah, it's playtime. Come play. That's the whole reason you're out here, Mommy. That's the whole reason you do these videos, is because of me. Right there. Right there. Because of the play dog. Oh, so hit like here, comment here, but also go over to my YouTube page, Mona E. Harrison. I have some videos up, so that way you know it's me, okay? Hit like, hit subscribe, listen to the videos, listen to them on a faster speed. May not be double speed, because I've been trying to speak faster, and I think I missed out on some of the things listening to it double speed. But definitely listen to it faster, because I have a lot of breaks here, because what's the next sentence? What's the next word that's supposed to come out of my mouth? So today, I know I have a green beard. Yeah, I wanted an orange beard. And I was going to go to Joann Fabrics and get a little orange fuzzy to make a beard. But I never get off this mountain. And Joann Fabrics is like over 45 minutes to an hour away. So the chance of me going all the way down there just to get a little foot-long orange fuzzy material just didn't seem like, the proper use of my time and resources. So, again, I have a green beard. I will be teased by all the children for having a green beard. Even though some of them dye their hair blue and red and green and pink and, All right. I remember when I was in cosmetology. I was in cosmetology in high school and then again in college. I was taking cosmetology so that I could work my way through college. So I figured if I got my cosmetology license, I can cut hair and earn some money for gas and things like that while I was in college. So anyways, that's when they started to experiment with stripping out the color of your hair and putting colored dyes in it. I did not have it done, but I did do it for a few of my friends. So that was in the 70s and 80s. Went to college in my 80s. It was in the 70s when I was in high school going through cosmetology. So I think it was 70. I think it was 79. I think it was 79. May have been 80. So anyways, the point is this. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Yep. Maybe this is the subject matter we're going with. Because I just was reminded of something, that there is nothing new under the sun. And it was in reference to there's nothing new to God. Because everything that exists today, He already knew about. So it's not new. It's not new. We think it's new. It's new to us. There's a lot of things that come up new, and they were retro at one time. And I'm like, oh yeah, that used to be back in the day. They we're doing that with medications and health aids at this point. Health as in aiding our physical bodies, not the person health aid. So people are getting more and more to natural. I'm trying to think of the word because I'm not really good with pronunciation. Naturopathic remedies. And so it's taking that which they used for a very long time before the pharmaceutical companies were saying, oh, no, don't take this, take this. And so pharmaceutical companies have basically poisoned us to the point that we are always sick, and therefore they always have customers. their job isn't to cure. Their job is to provide a relief for the symptoms. It's to manage symptoms. I take levothyroxine. It's kind of like the generic Synthroid. Okay. So I am on medication. I take medication. There's several medications that I take, and supplements because of the medication that depletes. So I have osteopenia. My mother had osteoporosis, so it is hereditary in that sense. But I also take medication that they did not tell me in the beginning that it robs me of my calcium. Hence, when I jumped out of that tree, I broke my leg and ended up getting screws in my ankle. Not because of the jumping out of the tree, but I didn't know it. My bones were brittle. And didn't know it. So, not brittle, just weaker. Weaker than what, they used to be. So I have to take calcium supplements. And so I am not all natural at this point. At this point, I'm still on pharmaceuticals. So, with pharmaceuticals, if you don't have a natural remedy, you may have to use a pharmaceutical remedy. At least for the relief of the pain, the relief of the symptoms, the relief of those. I know why people touch their beard. Squirrel moment. So because of autoimmune, because of the thyroid not working properly, because of the medication that I take depletes me of calcium, I have to take extra calcium in order to just stay abreast of it. That's not to gain muscle density. That's just to stay abreast. And now the trend is to go back to that naturopathic way of life for many people. You're always going to have those people that do the pharmaceuticals. Now, mind you, that anything healthier has a higher price tag to it. It just does. I started trying to eat healthier, but it's very expensive. So at one point I went through a diet for about 2-3 months, and our food bill went like 4 times as high as it ever had been, to include when I was feeding 5 people and 4 animals. Now I have 2 animals and there's 2 people, and yeah, the food bill is quite larger now because of inflation. But also, at that time, for those 3 or 4 months that I was trying to eat healthy, got a whole healthy regime, on a subscription, doing the recipes, the whole works, right? And as I'm doing this, and this bill is like extremely high, we couldn't sustain that. So it's like, well, how do you eat healthier when you're on a budget, right? And so my thought was that, this is kind of like a Tips Tuesday. My thought was, well, I'll get one thing and I'll get used to buying that one thing. So what I went for was range-free eggs. If I can use range-free eggs, I buy range-free eggs every time I go shopping versus regular eggs, then it'll be a little bit more expensive, yes, because range-free, ranged about $5 when regulars were like $1 or $1.50, something like that at the time. things right now are a little bit crazy with the chickens. Okay? We are lucky that we have eggs in the store at this point, because for several weeks there weren't any eggs. And so now we can get some eggs, but they're not my range-free, organic, the whole kit and caboodle. Now, we have some friends that have chickens, and we've thought about possibly finding out whether they sell eggs. And but we probably know that there's a lot of other people that they sell eggs to, so they may not even have enough. I don't even know if they have enough beyond themselves for to sell eggs. But we have to ask, right? But we just haven't gotten around to it. They're down the mountain. We don't go down the mountain. It just rarely happens. My husband does go down the mountain, and he because he has to work, so he goes that way. I guess he could stop by. He has to pass by his house, so he could stop by and say, "Hey, so-and-so, do you sell eggs?" That would maybe be, but we don't know what they feed their chickens. We don't know, we know that they're happier chickens. We can see the chickens. They're happy. Oh, they look happy. They appear happy. Happy chickens. They go along with happy cows, right? So we would buy these eggs at the store in order to eat a little healthier. And then once the budget gets used to that, we buy something else that is healthier than the non-healthy version of that item. So there's a few things that I went after that. Like when I get apples, try to get organic apples versus the apples that are in the regular bin with the waxy film. We want to take care of our bodies. We want to take care of our bodies. Talked about that yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It may have been Friday. No, yes. Today is Monday, so it was Friday I talked about it. I want to live all the days that the Lord has for me on this earth. All the days that He has for me. There's once a time when our time is up. There's like a date written that says, okay, when your time's up, that's it. There's nothing you can do. That's it. But you don't know when that time is. But the one thing you can do is hasten that time. You can hasten that time. Somebody else can hasten that time with their sin. Sin interrupts things for us. And God knows all things. God had a time for you, and you ended up coming a little sooner. We don't want to hasten our time. We want to spend as much time on this earth doing what God wants us to do on this earth for as long as God has us on this earth. There was even a time when there was a king in the Old Testament that got 15 extra years. It was his time to go. God gave him 15 extra years. And after that 15 years, done. He was gone. But he was given 15 extra years. So, God can give you extra years. Can. But for the most part, because there's nothing God can't do. We sing that song that there's nothing God can't do. He can't go against His own nature. And He won't. You know, back in the day, Purim is being celebrated this season. Haman was kind of like the king's right-hand man at the time. He was not a king of Israel. He was, I believe, the king of Syria. And, or at least around that region. I know who it was. You know the guy, you remember the movie 300? And the ones that the Greeks went to battle against with only 300 men? It was that guy they went to battle against. Okay. Esther, Esther is where this story is found. Esther is not her name. I believe it's like, I might be getting her mixed up with the queen, but there's one that's Hadassah. That might be the original queen that didn't show up for the king, and so the king went out and he's like, I'm searching for a new bride. Go out and search, find me some beautiful women and bring them back. Oh, people trafficking, sex slave. Nothing new under the sun. So they go out and they scour the land. They bring a whole bunch of women back. Esther's one of them. Remember, Esther is not her name. Now, and if I can recall her name while this is going, then great. But the only name I got in my head is Hadassah, and I don't know if that's her. I want to say it is. I'm thinking the other wife, her name started with a V. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Comment here. Look it up in Esther and find out what the name of the queen before Esther was. Put her name in there. And if you know the name of Esther, her real name, then go ahead and... Oh, Vashti. Vashti was the queen. So I think Hadassah is Esther. Okay, so if I'm wrong, put it there. Put it there. I'm just only going by my memory. So she had to have a preparation time before she became queen. They lathered her with oils and creams and beautification and spices and, you know, the works. She had it all done, right? She went to the beauty spa of the day. And she got picked. Kind of like The Bachelor. Ha! Nothing's new under the sun. He went among the beauties and he picked which ones went to the next round. And then the next round. And then the next round. And eventually he picked Esther. Nothing new under the sun. And the whole story was that there was Mordecai that wouldn't bow to Haman, and Haman got angry because, or partly because he was wearing jewelry or something with a god symbol, an idol type of thing, and Mordecai wasn't bowing down to that. He doesn't bow down to men. He bows down to God. But, you know, at the time, you had to bow down to, like, the king and things like that. Well, Mordecai didn't bow down. And because Mordecai didn't bow down, Haman took offense. And so he decided he was going to get back at Mordecai. But Mordecai had helped the king against a coup at one time. Somebody wanted to assassinate him. And Mordecai overheard the conversation and went to the king and told of the assassination attempt. It was spoiled. It didn't happen because, you know, they were proactive in getting it taken care of. And then he remembered Mordecai. Didn't remember his name. He remembered that this happened. So he asked for his books of remembrance. They're not diaries, they're logs. And And he was reading about how Mordecai had prevented him from being assassinated. So he went to Haman and he goes, what shall I do with the man that I want to honor? Haman, in his pride, thought it was himself. So he was talking about all the grandeur. Let's put on your royal robe, march him down the streets for all to see, and have them, have this like parade in honor of this guy, right? And he goes, okay, I want you to do that for Mordecai. I want you to take your horse. I want to take the horse, put him on the horse. I want you to lead the horse. So actually, Haman's on the ground leading the horse while Mordecai's getting all the glory and all of that. Makes him even madder, because now he's humiliated. On top of being offended, he is humiliated. So now he wants to just wipe them all out. So he has made a decree that he is going to wipe out the Jews. And he gets permission by the king under false pretense, under false accusations, etc., etc. Without really telling the king, he's like, these people they don't respect you. They don't, it was Haman they didn't respect. So what happened was this. He put it in the signet ring, the ring that pressed in, giving the mark, showing that this is sealed by the king. It is now a law that they are going to kill the Jews on a particular day. And so what happens is Esther, being Jewish, is wandering around, and Mordecai, her uncle or cousin, I think it was her uncle, raised her because she was an orphan. So he raised her, and he said, look, you are in a space. This is where that phrase that everybody's been saying lately since COVID, they just rose this verse up and haven't stopped. Such a time as this. That you have been raised up in such a time as this to save your people. Because you need to step up to the plate since you're in the position. And if you don't, then you're going to perish too. Don't think that you'll escape this. And not to mention, if you don't, God will get somebody else to do it. Because we have to remain alive. The Messiah has to come. But if we're all dead, that ain't happening. God's going to keep his promises. God keeps his promises. Anti-Semitism is not new. Because nothing's new under the sun. So Queen Esther gets herself prepped, gets herself ready to be accepted by the king, because if he did not hold down the scepter, she would have been killed. He has to accept that you're coming towards him and not. So she had to make herself presentable to come to the king. And then she wined and dined him several times to get favor. And then he said, what do you want? What is it you want? And she let it out. I am Jewish, and my people are in danger because of this wicked Haman, who has set up gallows. He has set up gallows to hang Mordecai. And has put a decree out that we would have genocide. If it pleases the king, rescind this. Rescind this decree that allows people to legally come out and kill us. And the king's like, I can't. I can't rescind a seal. I can't take back. It's going to make a king look wishy-washy. I can't take it back. It's sealed. But what I can do is I'm going to give Mordecai the seal, because Haman was hanged along with his sons on the gallows that he built for Mordecai. He said that you can defend yourselves. And anybody that goes against you, you can defend yourself and then take whatever it is that was theirs. He couldn't rescind his initial, but he could make a way out, a way of escape. God couldn't rescind the wages of sin. But he made a way out. He made a way out. Because he's not against his nature and he's not against his laws. And he's not the one that messed up. We are. He doesn't go against his character. And being a righteous judge, he has to do what's right. Even though sometimes it doesn't look right in our eyes, because we're looking at it from the victim standpoint, going, oh, it's not fair. So-and-so did it. All of that. All of our excuses are old, because nothing's new under the sun. All our styles, I'm styling today, all our styles, nothing new under the sun. They come back around. They come back around. Everything that is new to us, God knew about already. May have had it in a storehouse just waiting for somebody to say, God, could you give me the plans for that? Because, I'd like to create that here on this earth. And I know it's already created there. But nobody has the blueprints yet. Could I get the blueprints? Sometimes he gives blueprints in dreams. Sometimes he gives blueprints to people who have gone and studied and learned a higher education in that field. And it doesn't go without experiments and failed attempts. I don't know anybody that's successful that succeeded the first time around. Even when we're babies, we don't come out walking. We don't even come out crawling. Takes a while. But God can expedite things for people to create things. We're built in His image. We are made in His image. And because we're made in His image, He is a creator. And therefore, we create. But we don't create anything new. It's ideas that He gives us. And sometimes those creations are used for evil. But they weren't meant to be. The process of creation. This process of creating. It's God-given. We're made in His image. And therefore we create. And He gets the glory. You might get some money, you might get some fame, you might get some, this and that and the other thing. It's a possibility. But you turn the glory back to Him. Like, subscribe. Hit the notifications. Go over to YouTube and do all those things. Go to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. Like, subscribe, watch the videos. They're a little clunky, just like they used to be clunky here. Every now and then they're still a little clunky here. Because they're clunky here right now because I'm trying to build and create a YouTube channel. Something I should have done almost a decade ago. So in the process of creating that, there's going to be some fails. There's going to be some falling down. There's going to be, before anything is successful. Like here on Facebook. Comment. Be interactive. I want interaction. Not for those yahoos that want to sit there and try to smooth their way into my life because they're scammers. Because I'm not even going to acknowledge your existence in the comments. I'm not. Those comments to me don't exist. I leave them there. I don't take them away. But, no. I don't have time for that. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications, watch the videos, go over to YouTube, do the same, get all the bells and whistles. Once I have 50 subscribers, I get longer than 3 minutes. I'm not sure what the next level is, and I'm thinking it's 15 minutes, which I want to get these done in anyway. And I won't have to say, like, subscribe, hit all the bells and whistles, and all of that for a lengthy amount of time when I get a longer video. All right. That's all I got for you today. There's nothing new under the sun. Go out, create, give God the glory, and God doesn't go against His character. Once that seal is made, it's made. He made a way out with Jesus. He made a way out with the consequences of sin through Jesus. And it was all nailed upon the cross. Okay? All the consequences was nailed upon the cross. Blessings. Come back tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. All right. Bye.